I'm Miri Mawr, Artistic Director for Miri Mawr Arts Company, and we work predominantly in North Wales in the creative arts sector. Some of the work that we do involves making sensory immersive theatre, in particular looking at the age groups that are 5 and under, so that's early years across education. Miri Mawr does deliver other workshops and creative movement based activity, and recently I put in a funding application with the Arts Council for the Creative Collaborations Fund, and we were successful in getting that bid, which was great because it meant that we were able to develop a project that I'm particularly passionate about and really take that project and that idea to the next level. I worked in partnership with all of the junior schools in the Prestatyn cluster, all of the English language schools there, and also with Prestatyn High School as well, looking at a collaboration, so a creative project that was really interested in raising sort of educational aspirations with the early years group. I'm particularly interested in this age group with regards to learning the Welsh language, because I think children are just like sponges, and the more that you can present them with language in fun and kind of exploratory ways, I think that they are really receptive to doing so, especially in a creative setting. What was really lovely about this project was that we had an opportunity to work with Prestatyn High. We set them a creative task, which was to work with children and young people to identify their favourite storybooks in the class, and they workshopped these books with children and drew out all of the sensory stimulus that excited them, so whether it was colour or texture, whether they were elements of the weather and how that might have felt, and various characters in the stories. And the children were really on board with that process, and all of the junior schools submitted some lovely work. We had a huge range of creative inspiration that we were then able to use as an artistic team to develop a seed of an idea for an original story. What we wanted was an immersive world. I think that in terms of theatre, when you can get children to step into a creative world and become part of that story, that is so much more effective than sitting as a passive audience and being very far away from the action. Miri Mawr are really excited when children can actually become part of the story, and we think that this takes the learning level to the very next, to a higher step. So it takes that learning experience to a much higher level.
I think the benefits to the children, it was amazing really. It's hard to put into words, because they were just so amazed and in awe of what they were seeing in each little section, that I think it was just amazing for them. They got so much out of it, didn't they?
And the thing is with our children, they love books and they love having stories and reading and being part of those stories. They just love to do things practically, because of that being involved in it, it made the story come alive to them,
yes.
didn't it?
The performance that was created, Type Theatre Saved the Story, as a central character called Seren Story, who absolutely loves literature and words, and she's a little bit zany, and that's played by myself. And she's a really colourful, flamboyant character who took the children on a promenade type journey throughout various worlds. So they went through different environments and explored those environments. So for example, we had a magical meadow that was full of scented props, and we then moved into a forest setting which had natural resources like acorns and leaves and twigs, and it was really great because we were able to discuss these elements with children and explore how they felt and what they were like to touch and what they could smell. I think also as well, that's a great opportunity when you're working in a sensory way to reinforce as many Welsh words as possible. So the idea was that we are teaching bilingually, with the piece was bilingual.
It's important that it was bilingual because the children picked up on some of the words. We were sent a box beforehand with all the different things from the scenes, and it had the Welsh words and the English words, so we sort of used some of the Welsh words and some things, and it was really nice that they were picking up on that.
I think children are really receptive to learning so many languages, and that is the perfect age to introduce some of these principles. Miri Mawr have been absolutely overwhelmed with how the project has been received. It's been such a great experience, I think, for everybody involved, and I'm really looking forward to the future because we've got some really strong ideas about how we can develop this even further, where Sarah's story could go on her next adventure, and we really think that this is such an interesting way to work within education. It is vital, and I think anticipating the changes to the curriculum that we've seen recently, where the creative arts is being given a much higher platform, is being taken much more seriously, because it is recognised that the learning opportunities underneath the creative umbrella or within that context just surpasses any passive or traditional sitting down classroom based learning. I believe in that absolutely wholeheartedly, so I'm very, very excited to see what Miri Mawr can do next, and hopefully we'll see much more exciting work coming up in the future.